Finding out where your bully lives, getting their daily routine, it's too challenging for you to do all that, and it's just not worth it. My whole point is, why did they have me there to begin with? Blue-eyed people, they see better in the dark. When whites and blacks have a child, the child will usually have black hair with maybe a little bit of brown in it, black or brown eyes. Same with their children and so on. The race mixing, I don't like it because this skin has a pigment disorder, or if the baby has blonde hair or special colored eyes, it's usually because of a mutation. You could call it a miracle, but it's not natural. Two birds of a feather, right? And black-haired people usually are about 1.75-2% more stupid than brown-haired people, but let's just call that average. Now, back in the day, we used to hang black people. That's why darkies, not trying to be racist or anything, acted more civilized around us. But because we had influential figures like George Washington, Martin Luther King, Al Jolson, Michael Jackson, who acted to oppose racial segregation, they were all good except for that first one, in 33-degree Freemason George Washington. Let me start off by saying, firstly, I would never become a cop, okay? As long as schools are federally funded, we have every right to rise up against the government. You know, there's a fucking girl who gave me a third testicle in kindergarten, never went away. And it's like, what the fuck am I going to do about that, right? It takes 8 seconds to stop someone with an 8-inch blade. They never taught me this in school. It takes 8 seconds to stop someone with an 8-inch blade. They never taught me this in school. Black Arms knows your next move. They know what you're going to do. They know what you're planning. And the only thing you can do is, you got to make your own way. Life is just a game you play. And it's an open book. Wait till that peaceful time in your life. And when you're on that undetermined path and life and situations are remaining unexpected, that's your moment to go. Change clothes when you get back to your safe house. And the whole point about this Winco video is that some people are getting off to seeing us all in that line purchasing meal from one of their stores. They jerk off to it, these corporate cameras, because we're all in line, and sometimes the line is like really, really, really super long. And the only way that I can put it is that everyone in school was on a lower level. You send the smart, nice kid to school with everyone else so that they can drag that kid down to a lower level. If that kid is happy, we'll make him sad. If he or she wants to think for themselves, we'll make sure they don't, while all the other kids get off on it. That's why teachers and students are all niggerizers. The moral of the story is that you can never trust your granny these days. An old lady doesn't look like much, but in her back pocket is the army and police with guns trained to kill and ask questions later. Either Kamala's future or Donald Trump's future both involve us not being allowed to take on the invaders of our country without relying on Border Patrol or the police. There's no reason to call the cops. There's no reason for cops to be in or on this planet with us. Winco Foods. There's a woman there. I walked my dog, waited for 30 minutes, took him for a walk, walked him around the parking lot, waited for my mom to get out of the store. Wasn't in there for 15 minutes. I don't even know if I was in there for 10 minutes, to be honest, looking for her. But I wasn't gone for 15 minutes, and somebody opened the door to my car, sticking their hand through the open car window, car alarm going off, don't know how to turn off because it's not my car, 3 women standing outside petting my dog. You don't pet other people's dogs without the owner's permission. Okay, like, what are you, autistic? Then, the first thing I hear is, you can't do that. You can't do that. I've already called the cops. She looked at me and said, I already called the cops on a guy at Walmart for leaving his dog in the car. And it's like, oh, so you like threatening people, don't you? So Strawberry Blonde says, I opened the door. It's a thing called Good Samaritan laws. No, a Good Samaritan laws is when I obliterate every moving pixel on my screen in this Winco parking lot. So I agreed with them. I was polite. But it was my own decision to save this dog. I got him from Missouri at my dad's funeral. My Uncle Whitey's dog. His name was Ivan. His real name was Ivan, but my Uncle Whitey, it was his dog. And when he died, that dog became my dad's dog. So my dad reportedly took care of this dog, Ivan. That's why they called him that, because, when my dad died in 2020, his nickname became Jerk. I called him Jerk because when I got him, that was my dad's nickname. We call him Jerky now. So we went to Missouri for the funeral. I saw this mini beagle running up to me, and it immediately started sniffing me. And the second Best snout dog. It's the second best snout of any hound dog. I saw this little mini beagle running towards me at my dad's funeral, and these dogs can be used to sniff out cancer cells from inside the body. I mean, they could probably smell blood, and it recognized me without having ever seen me. They sniff and dig up particular roots from inside the ground for sustenance and farmers. He was skinny and stood on his two back legs like a bear. We paid like $5,000 to have him flown out with us on our way back. He got here, realized we got a home now, I got a home now, and we got him from a place with no law enforcement and only like two families, a place called Tiff that they used to call Nigger Town. Now, they hung black people there. They were dogs, and they were all fed in this pit. Stray dogs, they fed them in the pit where they just tossed chicken bones and food all day. That's where they fed the dogs. That's how they ate food. So this little mini beagle wouldn't have survived in Missouri. He was living off bread crust and eating chicken bones that he found in the pit where they fed all the dogs, so he had to fight for his food. This dog had to fight and scavenge for his food with other dogs that were bigger than him. All the dogs were fed in the pit. The pit is where the people toss their scraps being pizza crust, trash, bones, etc. But he had to fight for his food unless someone was feeding him. He gets here and he's so unappreciative. You feed him and he won't stop eating until his gut explodes. He has mental abuse issues. If we left him there, there would be no jerky. If we left him there would be no jerky. If we left him in Missouri. That's what I told the strawberry blonde when the nagging old fucking Karen left. She says that for fear-mongering, I already called the cops on some guy at Walmart. I'm not saying she's wrong, but it was a hot day, but Jerky barks for attention, okay? He didn't bark once the whole time I was in the car with him. The moment I left, he started howling, barking, and screaming for me to come back, and it's probably because he's an emotional baby with abandonment issues and a psychological, physical abuse trauma survivor he is. And he looked drunk when we got him here. Still this day he's manipulative, unappreciative, just a little scavenger who begs for food and gets jealous when other people give other dogs attention. So I hear, you can't do that. You can't do that. Looking at me like I'm crazy when I'm just walking down the street minding my own business. When I see three women, I shouldn't even call them that, are breaking and entering into my car without a warrant, making an unlawful citizen's detainment on my dog, and telling me what I can and can't do, trying to scare me with the law, disrespecting my name, making me out to be the bad guy, held me and my dog captive like Native American women, and threatening me with the po-po. You got another thing coming, lady, and tells me I'm a dog breeder. Yeah, I love animals too. I'm an animal handler. I have fucking skunks, a possum, this dog, cats, stray cats. I love animals. I got a deer, even this black bear I saw just recently out in the BLM lands, face to face. But to treat this entitled dog better than me after everything I went through and then threaten me with the cops? I have misophonia. And when I hear the sound, you can't do that, at that moment, I felt something I haven't felt in a very long time. It wasn't rage, it wasn't humiliation, it was the pure primal instinct to kill. We need a world that suits us, not a world where the law changes to suit the individual. They've raped Mother Earth for her resources. Karen's version of help is calling the cops on you, and you being executed by cops, being killed by pigs. Don't call it hate speech. Look at me. I have no one. People have cops. Karens have pigs. Kids in school would tell me my uncle's a cop or my dad's a cop, not to mention people have each other. I have my sigil, which allows me to communicate with the devil, and I will let him tell me what to do now. Seems like to me, whenever you're angry, that's when the world decides to hurt you. When you tell yourself today, the next person that fucks with me is going to get stabbed or get their head cut off, that is when people or someone decides to come fuck with you. Jews and Muslims get extra food in prison. Hold on. The Bible says not to change a word of the Bible or his writings or teachings. It says there will be many false prophets in the end times. There is a story in the Bible about how before Christ was crucified, he made storms, and the people had to take the blood of lambs and wipe it on their doors in order to not get a plague, to be immune to it. Now, because Christ died for our sins, we don't have to do things like that anymore. And astrology, certain types of things have become more accepted, like the occult. Now, in today's video, we're going to be talking about what to do in a confrontational situation. I'm here to tell you that I'm not so stupid as to not know that life isn't a game, but my school counselor they sent after me was wrong about one thing. Life is just a game you play. Nothing's ever here to stay. So anyhow, you know, these people, when you refute them, they become very agitated with you, and if you don't do what they say, they're force imposing their way of life and imposing their beliefs. So never open up to people. Never tell people anything about yourself because it gives them power over you. Don't tell them who you are, what you're doing. Don't be unreasonable. But if Karen wants to call the cops for no reason and get us all killed, that's what it's like. What are you trying to do? Get us all killed by calling the cops? Don't let them push you around. So anyhow, it seems like when you're angry and pissed off, that's when the world decides to try and hurt you. When you tell yourself today, the next person that fucks with me is going to get fucked with back, that's when the universe decides to send people after you to fuck with you. Jews and Muslims get extra food in prison. Muslims get some orange fruit for some ritual in prison. If you're Christian, it's like, yeah, fuck you, buddy. All the fucking time, people, these dicks, cunts, make accusations against me. Now, just like they did in middle school and 5th grade, childish games to fuck with Sam. Also, they create a problem and then blame me for it. I can't even go to the store without having some hipsters or some old worn up bags and female dogs try and come to me and rat me out over something and villainize me and start telling me what I can and can't do. You're free or you're not. For those of you who do that, your own right has expired. The next person who tries to tell me what to do will find out personally. I'm so sick and tired of people telling me what I can and can't do. If one more person says you can't do that to me, 2 words, purge up. Life is just a game you play. Okay? Life is just a game you play. And after I went through my trials, they kept me there to make After I went through my trials, they kept me there to make a mockery of me and ruin my name. They have no reconciliation of what they have done to me. After they belittle me, after I've already went through my trials, they treat me like no better than a dog. They treat me worse than a dog. Because of feminism. You're all tame the beast control freaks. To bash me even after I've already undergone my torment from the school system. It's anyone who's looking for an excuse. Yeah, an excuse for me to rip that phone out of your hand and freaking Super Mario stomp it in the ground. We should treat each other with respect and think more highly of each other. There were 2 big burly men in Grants Pass riding down the street with motorcycles, holding hands. One of them was skinny and one of them was this big fat 500-pound man. The same day we saw Tent City up there, and there was this dude with a blue mohawk walking down the street with heels and a freaking red dress. If you ever see me, stay the hell out of my way, because I'm no longer taking advice from circus freaks. Calling the cops is literally a death threat. Situational awareness. You need to have it at all times. Situational awareness. You need to have it at all times. Be ready to obliterate anyone who gets in your way. Magic and prayer don't work on demons. These kind of demons. Karens. You have to slay your enemies when they're possessed. You have to literally knock the Devok out of them. I've noticed it more recently. What used to be huge... I've noticed it recently. What used to be huge crowds of intellectuals has become reduced to like a like-minded group of Sado-supremacist, degrading, smart, young-minded individuals, and they get off on it. They're horny for your light, and they want to see that light, and you're shredded. And your hope. They don't want heroes. They want supervillains to point the finger at and say, hey, he or she is the bad guy, not me. Look at what he did. He left his dog in his car for almost 10 minutes. That's illegal. And they were insignificant worms, parasites who blame to cast their shadows of imperfection onto a guy like me, who feed off the tit of this dying country and then call me a terror threat. Moral of the story is that laws are stupid, and don't let anyone tell you what to do. Ever. Don't let anyone ever tell you what to do. As a law-abiding citizen, you have every right to defend yourself from the alien terroristic domestic organization known as Black Arms. As someone who has done nothing wrong, they have the right not to refute you. As in, they have no right other than to agree with you. Otherwise, it's false accusations. I'm sorry. Let me just wrap him up under a blanket and shove him under the seat and roll up the windows so that no one can hear him, so I don't have to go through this situation, right? This ugly shit-eating mongoloid was so stupid she gave me a dog leash and told me you need a bowl of water and a leash after she looked in the car, reached her hand in to open the window to kidnap my dog, animal theft, unlicensed, unwarranted, unprompted search of the vehicle, threatening with the police, breaking and entering. She went so far as to give me her leash after being such an oblivious, chaotic, fucking slimeball egg woman crook who looked in my car and saw the 2 leashes sitting on top of the open floor. How did you not see them? Are you a bat in broad daylight? This dog never drank as much water as he does now. Now he chugs down the whole water bowl like Badlands. It's not my fault if he's so used to being able to chug down a whole bowl of water a day in one day. It's not my fault if he didn't get his big gulp of water before we left. Let me tell you, these people ain't helping me out.